Hey, it's Jay Malone. I am the owner of Passive Profits, and I narrate each of my newsletter episodes each week because, as much as I like to write, I like to listen when I am trying to learn something. I'm an auditory learner. So if you appreciate that, then you can listen on in to this video, and I'll do that each week. Let me know if you like this kind of format too. The feedback is helpful. So here we go. It's amazing how resilient we are, isn't it? Just stop for a minute and reflect on all of the challenges you've overcome this year. Some mere hurdles to step over, others seemingly insurmountable. And yet you made it here, past all of them. But with each new challenge, we question ourselves. We forget our past wins and doubt all of our abilities. We negate the skills we've built and diminish all of our authority. We sink into our fears, but not a fear of failing. A fear of the unknown, a fear of change. And as I learned from my friend Bree, behind that fear of change is actually a fear of loss. When attempting something new, there are 6 types of loss we spiral through. 1 is a loss of time. We start here, relegating time as our enemy. We say things like, I just don't have the bandwidth. Sometimes that's true and right. Sorry, I reversed that. Sometimes that's right and true. Sometimes our attention is better served elsewhere. But as we consider a new idea or experimental venture, we use time to shield us from the real 5 impending losses. 2, loss of familiarity. As we step out into the unknown, we're immediately surrounded by strange situations, decisions, and actions. In our heads, that sounds like, what's worked for me before may not work this time. 3, loss of competence. With our loss of familiarity, that's always a tough word for me to say, we sink deeper, questioning our ability to get the job done. We tell ourselves, I'm not sure if I have what it takes to do this. 4, loss of narrative. As our incompetence grows, we lose track of our story. We think, I'm no longer sure what I'm doing or why it matters. 5, loss of pride. And as our story unravels, we're forced to release the old and make space for the new. We come to realize, I need to let go of parts of myself I was once proud of. 6, loss of control. At the very bottom, stripped of our pride, our story, our competence, and our familiarity, we glimpse our potential to fail. We accept, I may give this everything I've got and it still may not work. This is the moment. It's where you concede by retreating for safety, or it's where you begin by relinquishing control. You're raw. You're ready. You've come to embody the Stoic wisdom. What got you here won't get you there. And in spite of all that fear, you commit to action. Committing in 2024. As you begin to wind down 2023 and consider the mountains you intend to climb in 2024, be mindful of how you spend the next few weeks. This past week, for the first time since starting this new venture 3 months ago, I was overrun with fear. As I sat parked outside my son's basketball practice Tuesday night, I tormented myself for not being further along, for not having enough time to get everything done, for stammering within this new domain, where the names have changed and mine remains unproven. At a time when I should be celebrating the myriad challenges and fears I've overcome, I was focused on the unknown, on the changes ahead. Then I took a deep breath. You know what? If you're listening to this, just take a deep breath in. Do a 4-second in, 4-second hold, and 7-second release. I'm going to do it with you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I acknowledged that I was lost in fear, and I remembered the pivotal lesson I learned from Dr. Ellen Hendrickson, a lesson I want you and every founder, current or future, to internalize. The hardest part about scaling any new mountain is the very first climb. After that first climb, we start to see that mountain as nothing more than a molehill. We glean our anticipated horrors as nothing more than our mind catastrophizing incidents that probably won't happen. And with each new climb, our confidence builds. Because you see, we don't become confident enough to act. We become confident by acting. And so here's what I'm committing to in 2024. To grow a community of founders committed to scaling their business. To listen and learn about the problems you most need help solving. To support you with unique and impactful content, courses, and coaching. To refine the content via endless experiments here and LinkedIn. I'm going to say that one over. To refine the content via endless experiments here and on LinkedIn. By the way, if we're not connected, there's a link in the post. Please connect on LinkedIn. I share a lot of ideas and just frameworks and tips and things like that related to this newsletter. And I just love to build a relationship with you. So I'd love to connect. To deliver real value inside this newsletter week after week. To start a podcast where I bring founder success stories to you. To host challenges where we learn and grow together. For example, earlier this week, I announced the 30-day digital product launch challenge. There's a link in the post. Please check it out. And most importantly, to keep going, especially when things get hard. Your turn. I want to hear from you. Reply and let me know about the new mountains you're committing to climbing in 2024. What are they? What fears come up about them? And if everything goes incredibly well, what will be true? Seriously, reply. I'll be waiting to hear from you. Really, though, if you're listening to this, it can be lonely writing these newsletters. You don't know if people are listening, appreciating. I can see what percentage are being opened and clicked and all that stuff, all the great metrics of running a newsletter. But it's another level to hear back from people like yourself. So please do. This is a free newsletter because my goal here is to support as many founders as I can. I'm going to make money in other ways. And the best way I can do that is if I know you and I'm chatting with you and I'm building a relationship with you. So please reply and let me know what mountains are you going to try to move in 2024 and where you're going to get stuck and what might be true if you're able to move them. I would love to hear from you. Okay, and as we wrap up, hello to Bulent, Shannon, Elena, and 3 more founders who joined Passive Profits this week. Welcome. I like to share this stat, and especially now because there's only a handful of people that are joining each week, and I can't tell you how honored and proud I am. And in a year from now, it'll probably be hundreds of people joining each week, and I hope to continue doing this because it reminds me that every big challenge starts small. So I really appreciate you if you signed up. You're one of the OGs that have signed up early to Passive Profits. I appreciate you. Thanks for reading. And if you enjoyed today's post, then please consider sharing it. Okay. If you're in the US, by the way, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Take care.